Listen, I had some inside information, and a good friend of mine who trains with Spence, and was with Spence like a month beforehand. It's, pro Spence. He told me, "Nah, Mike." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You don't have it." I was like, "What are you talking?" No, he said, Spence is not a shade of what he was.
Huh.
And this is before the fight. This is a while. He's like, "I wish Spence would not take this fight. He's not ready."
Really?
Been in the ring with all that. And I was like, "Really?" And then when I saw Spence Crawford, I'm like, "Oh, shoot. He don't look like Spence." And then after that fight, I realized he really is not there. His legs wasn't there. There was so much that was, I'm a big fan of Spence, and I followed. And, he's had those accidents he's had. And so in sparring and the things that my friend saw that, he told me like a month before, he said he shouldn't fight. And then you start putting it together and you go, think about this logically. Has Bud Crawford looked that dominant against anybody? A lot of people were trying to go like, all right, yeah, they knew Crawford was going to do that to him. I don't think anybody knew that. I don't think anybody knew that. But Spence does not even seem like himself. And after that fight, it's not because of the damage he took during the fight. There is a difference. Again, it sounds like I'm taking away stuff from Bud Crawford. But so be it. I believe Spence, and I believe my friend.
MichaelJai White, he was on Vlad TV, and he was asked a question about the Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. And he said that he had sources that his friend was in training camp with him, and he basically said Errol Spence he don't have it. He's not ready for the fight.
Hey yo, what up you guys? It's your boy Boxing Fanatic, back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest and greatest content.
And he was brutally honest. And we all witnessed the outcome of the fight. And in so many words, like a lot of people were saying, like, Errol Spence, because of the car accident, because of his eye, or he was on something. All of these, these things that they was basically saying. But in other words, trying to discredit Terence Crawford about how he was so dominant in the fight. And Michael was basically saying that's why he looked so dominant. So when have we ever seen Errol Spence get dominated the way that he did in a brutally fashion? And then on top of that, they were saying how Terence Crawford had loaded gloves and all of these things, and basically just trying to discredit Terence Crawford for what and how the fight took place. And there was doctors came out, said that Errol Spence, he like on the cusp of having dementia and all of these crazy things. And they were saying Errol Spence, he looked at high, he didn't have no legs, his balance wasn't there, his technique wasn't there, his speed wasn't there, his IQ wasn't there, his power wasn't there. I mean, everything just looked it off. It could have been a test to a lot of things, even the shot that was I don't want to say behind the head, but on the ear, that threw off his equilibrium and probably had him discombobulated the whole night of the fight. You know, that probably could have took place into the fight as well. And then too, we need to see how Errol Spence come out in his second fight. Will he be the same? You know, Terence Crawford has been, you know, soaking this all in and basically said how, you know, all of these guys that y'all call bums, but these guys that y'all call bums put up a better fight than your favorite fighter, is testing to, you know, Errol Spence, basically saying that, you know, Errol Spence can't fight, in so many words, that he's garbage. I think this time around, I think Errol Spence will probably be more disciplined. He'll probably tighten up on his techniques, his power, his distance, and he have to do a lot of you know, thinking in this fight if he wanna, you know, defeat Terence Crawford and give him his first loss like he was trying to do the first time. Can he do that? Yeah, he can do it. I don't know if, you know, he's willing to, you know, put himself and put his body through that again. I know Terence Crawford was saying that, you know, he's back in the gym and basically he ready. And he's getting ready for the December fight against Errol Spence. I don't know how that fight will take place come December. Will Errol Spence be in tip-top shape? Will he look the same way? And then, you know, they were saying how, you know, Errol Spence, he couldn't make the weight. Terence Crawford said he couldn't make the weight as well. And they hoping that they had this fight at 147. I'm thinking Errol Spence probably wanted at 154. Terence Crawford probably wanted at 154 too as well. Because he did say he want to fight the winner out of Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. So that would be, you know, a great fight. And Terence Crawford said he walking around at 180. So 160, 168, like he said, is not a far too reach to come down. So that's like, you know, like 12 pounds or 18 pounds. You know, one beat too bad for him to make. But I don't know if that fight with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford will it look the same, because the way Terence Crawford dominated, how, you know, everybody saying that Errol Spence he just looked it bad. He looked horrible. I just never seen Errol Spence fight that way. It could have been a test to a lot of things. Could he have not trained properly? Could he have not took Terence Crawford serious enough? I know for one thing, he probably wasn't disciplined, because Gary Russell Jr. said he seen Derrick James and him on the mitts, and Derrick James barely tapped him, and Errol Spence was like all over the ring, and Gary was like, he just knew something wasn't right. Tested his balance. You know, when you drop down from so much weight and you ain't eating and you ain't drinking, yeah, you look lethargic, you know, you dehydrated. Of course you ain't gonna be at your tip-top shape as far as your power, your balance, your skills, your speed, your technique, your defense, your range generalship, your IQ, your lateral movement. None of that will be there. We didn't see none of that in the fight. It was more of Terence Crawford doing what he wanted to do. And normally it's the other way around. I know I talked about this so many times, but Errol Spence, he have to change up a lot of things to defeat Terence Crawford. I just think that this is one of those fights where Terence Crawford has Errol Spence's number. Terence Crawford has a cheat code. He like, you know, one of them people that you can create on a video game and have all the levels up. Terence Crawford is like that. He was like that in that first fight with Errol Spence. I don't know if he'll be like that in the second fight with Errol Spence. Will Errol Spence be a little different? Or will he still look the way he did? Like, because he was just slow. Terence Crawford was 10 steps ahead of him in every category. If you think about it, he was just a better, superior fighter that night when they fought July 29th in Las Vegas. Hopefully this can be this can be a better competitive fight than the first time, because they both will have each other number. They both will know what each other kind of bringing to the table. So I don't think it will be no more fill out rounds. I think they'll just jump right back into the action like how they did before in the first fight. Would Terence Crawford get any stops, or would Errol Spence look different? Will Errol Spence get some knockdowns? We'll never know until that fight happens. Y'all let me know what y'all think, all right? Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. One love, one life. I'm out. Peace.
If you enjoy content like this and you want to see more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.